Welcome to the Grandpa Channel. I'm Steve Harris, but my grandkids call me Rivers. Here we ask a simple question. What did life teach you the hard way? Because a lifetime reveals things you can't learn any other way. On this show, we sit down with people who've lived a little, stumbled a little, and learned a few things along the way. Sometimes the stories are funny. Sometimes they're tender. But the best ones carry a little hard-earned wisdom. So pull up a chair, because what a lifetime reveals can steady another. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wished you had just a little bit more of someone who's gone? Maybe their voice, the way they told a story, or that crooked smile that always showed up when they were just about to say something a little salty. Most of us don't think about capturing those things until it's too late. That's why I recently sat down and recorded my life story on video. Not the whole thing, just the good stuff, the messy stuff, the funny stuff, the stuff I don't want my kids and grandkids to forget about me. Planet Media made it so easy. They came to me, set up everything, and then worked their editing voodoo magic and made me look like $1 million. If you've ever thought about preserving your story for the people you love, this is the way to do it. Go to planetmediaco.com. Tell them Rivers sent you, and you'll get a nice little Grandpa Channel discount. All right, back to the show. I was born with a big head, a capacious cranium. I've endured a slew of indignities in my 70-plus years here on planet Earth as a direct result of this large head of mine. I can still clearly hear in my mind the snickering of the crowd at Little League baseball games as I stepped to the plate with my batting helmet perched on my head like a shiny plastic yarmulke. Unfortunately, more indignities were to come. By the way, the phrase "one size fits all" relating to hats is almost criminally untrue, but I digress. Late in 1974, I found myself living in Lappeenranta, Finland, a city of over 50,000 people about 20 miles from the border with the Soviet Union during the height of the Cold War. I was a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I had never been east of Evanston, Wyoming. Yes, I had just fallen off the turnip truck. Finland is an exotic and frigid land. The Finnish language is breathtakingly difficult to learn. I was also, unfortunately, a high school German class dropout. I lived in a region of Finland where the local dialect, Karelian, was spoken as if shot from a machine gun. I was homesick and having a monumental struggle trying to learn Finnish. In my first 19 years of life on planet Earth, I had become a truly gifted avoider of doing hard things. I was really good at it. My arrival in Finland marked a cruel tectonic shift that destroyed my almost unbroken avoidance of all things hard. As they say, stuff got real. I found out that God has a great sense of humor. Not only is the language hard, but the Finnish winters are really brutal. Riding stolid Finnish bikes in sub-zero temperatures is not for the faint-hearted. One must dress for success. One uber-fashionable and very effective way to deal with the brutal crankiness of Finnish winters is to buy a Russian fur hat. From the moment I set forth on Finnish soil, I dreamed of buying a Russian fur hat. In my mind, I would cut a dashing, stoical figure as I bravely battled the stark and unforgiving Finnish winter. Well, off to the local department store we went. I was so excited. My Finnish was still pretty awful. A handsome Russian hat would put an extra bounce in my step and who knows, might even magically improve my Finnish. My companion accompanied me to the department store. His Finnish language proficiency was much better than mine, but that wasn't saying much. With great anticipation, we ambled on over to the Russian fur hat department. There waited 3 women sales clerks. Quite good-looking sales clerks, I might add. I was full of youthful confidence that I would find a hat that would fit my head. Surely, both Russia and my newly adopted country of Finland were inhabited by droves of cranially enhanced manly men. The naivete of youth. I must have tried on every single fur hat. Soon my initial optimism gave way to crushing despair. The sales clerks were looking forward, I'm sure, to a substantial sale. They must have thought selling a fur hat to the young American would be a great sporting challenge. With each failed attempt to cram a fur hat onto my expansive head, there were audible groans from the sales clerks. Soon, they became discouraged. Believing both of us to be unable to understand their sarcastic comments, one of the sales clerks turned to the other two clerks while nodding at me and said, "Hanela on hevosenpa." Imagine their collective surprise and embarrassment when my companion immediately burst into laughter. They were embarrassed. Well, I was clueless. But then again, I was frequently clueless. I asked my companion what was so funny. When he finally managed to stop laughing, he told me, "They said you had the head of a horse." Lovely. Sorry to report, I never did find a Russian hat that fit. But I am pleased to tell you that I did not allow the none too flattering comments of the attractive sales clerks to get me down. I did not start coping with Finnish winters, sans my Russian fur hat, by drowning my sorrows in Finnish vodka. They say crisis plus time is equal to humor. Now I can laugh. Besides, I'd rather have the head of a horse than have, say, the head of a badger. I'm out of here. That's it for today's episode of the Grandpa Channel. If something you heard made you laugh, pause, or see life a little differently, pass it along. We're gathering the lessons people learned the hard way, the stories, the second thoughts, and the wisdom that only comes with time. And we'd love to hear yours. What did life teach you the hard way? Until next time, keep the perspective honest and the stories coming. I'm Rivers, and I'm out of here.